Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric here with Iraq Veteran 8888, and today I've got another gun gripe episode for you. This one is a freaking doozy, okay? Today's episode is, are gun shows dead? Whew! Boy, I know we're going to have some varying thoughts on this, and I'd love to, know what you guys have to say. But today, for this episode, I have a special guest as my co-host. We have Matt here. All right. And Matt is my co-host over on the Life, Liberty, and Pursuit podcast. We put that podcast out every Monday at 9 a.m. So each week, a brand new episode, hour-long podcast, more of a long-form type of thing. So if you want to check out our podcast, we go into everything from politics to geopolitical stuff, survival. We talk about guns. So there's many things that I think a lot of you guys would enjoy in terms of subject matter.
Psychedelics.
So, yeah. Feel free to check out LLP. We would love your support. And before we start today's episode, I would like to thank our friends at My Patriot Supply. September is National Preparedness Month. So it's the perfect time to ask yourself some questions like, how much food do you have on hand for emergencies? How would you get clean water if the tap went dry tomorrow? What would you do if a storm knocked out the power for a week? If you're anything like me, there's some room for improvement on this stuff. Luckily, our friends at My Patriot Supply are making disaster preparedness easier and more affordable than ever by giving you over $1,500 worth of emergency food and preparedness gear for free. They just launched their Preparedness Month Mega Kit, and it includes a full year of emergency food, a water filtration system that can purify almost any water source, and a solar backup generator, plus a lot more. And here's the best part. If you go to mypatriotsupply.com/LLP, you can get 90 preparedness essentials totaling over $1,500 absolutely free. Head to mypatriotsupply.com/LLP for full details. That's mypatriotsupply.com/LLP. That's Lima Papa for more information. Big thanks to My Patriot Supply, has been a long-term supporter of my channel. So, wow, man, this is a doozy of a subject. I know we were kind of spitballing it, but what do you think? Are gun shows dead? The idea of a gun show?
I honestly do. I haven't been to a gun show in years. And that's, really because anything that you can get at a gun show now, you can pretty much get online, or you can probably find better deals at a pawn shop. Honestly, I've walked into some pawn shops that are crazy, that just have really, really unique, good price stuff.
Sure. So just to clarify, all right, what is a gun show? Maybe some people don't know. Some of you might be new. So a gun show is basically a public show. What they generally do is they will rent out a venue. Okay. And they'll usually put on by some type of a larger company. They're in the business of doing gun shows, Eastman. There's a few others.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Eastman is a big one. And here in the Southeast, they have Eastman shows. And basically they rent out a venue, and then they charge vendors usually a fee for the table. And vendors come in and they set up their wares, guns, accessories, ammunition, reloading components, etc., historical artifacts, collectibles, memorabilia, uniforms, food, accessories, clothing, you name it, it's out there. Okay, so the vendors come in and they set up all their wares, and then you, as a patron, you enter the building and pay usually $10 to get in, and you can walk around and do business with these people. And it's face-to-face transactions, and it's going to be a combination of commercial dealers who are, let's say, a business that are set up there to sell their wares at gun shows, and they travel around just to have access to more customers, or to be individuals who are bringing maybe portions of their private firearms collection to sell to individuals there at the given show. Okay. So you can go in and find, Joe Blow, Jim Bob, who's, grandpa just passed away, and maybe he's going to sell off about 30 or 40 of his guns at the gun show.
Right.
Perfectly normal activity. People do it all the time, and generally you can kind of cash and carry. Kind of cool. The spirit of gun shows has always been that you can go in and haggle, get a decent deal, find some cool stuff that you can't generally find anywhere else. And it's also sort of the mystery of not knowing what is going to be on the table. You know, finding some cool stuff, finding some rarities, maybe some cool milsurps. And don't get me wrong, gun shows are still a great source for finding really cool milsurps, okay? In fact, I went to a gun show not too long ago. It might have been it's been now maybe a year and a half or two ago. I went to a gun show and I scored some awesome Finnish M39s, a Finnish M91. I bought a Persian Mauser. So I bought some really cool stuff and I felt like I got a really good deal. Now I had to haggle for it and I'm very knowledgeable about stuff. So yeah, I was able to haggle and get a little bit better of a deal. And of course, if you pay in cash and buying a lot of stuff at once, most dealers, especially if they're an individual selling off a collection or an estate, they generally will be a little bit easier going on getting you a good deal if you've got cash and you're buying a lot of stuff. That may not necessarily always apply to every person that's going to a gun show. Generally speaking, especially if they're a dealer, most people who have anything marginally collectible are going to have it priced for probably double what it's worth.
Yep.
You're going to go in, you're going to find SKSs for $1,000. No one buys that crap. No one's going to pay $1,000 for a Yugoslavian M59. They're just not. But they're priced for that. And yeah, some dealers have old inventory of old SKSs and Cosmoline, maybe some Mosins and things like that, Russian 9130s. And I'm mainly talking about this, Matt, in terms of surplus, because when I go to gun shows, I'm looking for surplus.
That's right.
That may not be everyone's situation. Some people might want to go to gun show, buy a modern handgun. They might want to buy maybe a cool AR or something. So they have all types of guns. I don't want anybody to think they don't have everything. They do. In fact, it's a place you can find everything from collectibles all the way up through the most modern guns.
Right.
So I'm not necessarily speaking, Matt, for the person that might be trying to buy a modern gun. If you kind of go in and get a modern SIG, yeah, a dealer at a gun show might be wanting to get, they might have a lot of one specific SKU of pistol and they might have bought too many and they're trying to let them go for a reasonable price to get rid of them. Is that usually the case? No. They're trying to jack people up on the price and they're always going to charge more to gun show because they have to pay people to go to the show. They got to pay people to set up, pay them for their time. So you have the cost of the tables. So yeah, a dealer that sets up at a gun show is generally going to have to charge more to cover the cost of the tables and the travel. So you're going to pay more at a gun show than you would pay at their home shop that they might be from.
Yep. But you have things like, some would say that it is a little bit easier to purchase firearm at a gun show. Unpopular opinion. But there's a premium on it for, like, some people will walk in and they like the cash and carry aspect of it. And that's what you're paying that premium for those people. I would say that, it used to be for milsurps. Like you would go and you just see a really good selection of milsurps. But then at the same time, now I want to say that what you probably want to go for is ammunition, just because it's really, really hard to sell ammunition online as a small dealer. Like the cost of shipping just really kills you unless you're just these big ammunition manufacturers that have shipping deals. Yeah. Like you go there, you can buy cases and cases of it and they don't have to worry about shipping it to you.
One thing I will say is that if you go to a gun show and there's somebody there that's an ammo dealer and they have, let's just say, a lot of ammo, like they brought a bunch in and stacked it up, a lot of times if you haggle, you can get a good deal on ammo because they don't want to carry it back.
Yep.
They don't want to have to constantly move that crap around. It sucks. Nobody
heavy,
wants
man.
to move ammo around like that. And so, and that should be part of your bargaining process. Like, hey, y'all don't want to really carry this ammo back, do you? Like, I'll buy it. I'll go put it in my car and you ain't got to worry about carrying it back. One time and this is kind of unrelated to guns, obviously, but one time I was at a guitar show, a Grinning Elk guitar show. And I was with my dad and I went in and they had a white 1962 Fender twin amp and a very rare amp. They only made, I don't know, maybe a few hundred of them, extremely rare. But gosh, the thing weighs 90 pounds. I mean, no one wants to move amps around. And I made the guy I made a pretty low ball offer on that amp. Now, granted, it's a very valuable amp because I only made a few hundred, but it had a blown transformer and one of the speakers was bad in it. So it didn't even turn on and work properly. And you know me, I lowballed the piss out of it. And you better believe I left that amp. I bought it. I brought a cart with me. I went out in my car, got my cart. I wheeled that sucker out there. But part of my bargaining process was, you don't really want to carry this heavy bastard back, do you?
It's broken, man.
It's broken. You don't want this. And sure enough, he took my offer. I lowballed him. I
like you now, man. Like that
lowball.
Shrewd negotiator.
I lowballed him, and he took it. And look, not to be that way, but the reality is most people don't want to carry back ammo.
Yeah.
So you can get some deals, especially reloading components. Sometimes you can get some good deals on primers and powder. So, all right, to get back to the question, are gun shows dead? They're not. You just have to be savvy. You got to be a savvy buyer. You got to be a knowledgeable buyer. You got to know what you're looking at, know how to judge condition really well. Chad and I made multiple videos on how to gauge and judge used firearms for condition and functionality and things like that. So check that content out if you want. I'm not going to go over all that in today's show. However, also having cash and knowing how to haggle, knowing how to deal.
Cash is king.
If the price on the gun is $1,000 and it's a milsurp, I guarantee you they'll take $600 for it. You just have to know how to talk to them right. And maybe you have to buy more than one thing. In their mind, they're trying to get to a number. Okay, they're trying to get to a number. If they price a gun for $1,000, they'll take $1,000 for 2 guns because in their mind they want $1,000 somehow. So it's like in my mind, I have walked out like with 2 guns that were priced for $1,000 a piece for $1,000. Buy one get one free. I've done it.
Nice.
I've done it. But I also bought maybe a couple of other ones for full price. So if you're looking at stuff they have and you go, all right, they've got this gun priced for $400. That's a fair price. Okay, cool. In my mind, I'm getting this gun no matter what. I'm giving you all the gas here, okay? All right, look at this gun. All right, it's priced fairly. Okay, cool. I'm not going to haggle on this price. This is a good price. They have it priced too low because they don't know what they have. All right, that gun's going home with me regardless. I know it is. All right, this other gun, maybe the same thing. Oh, wow, they actually have priced one really low. That one's definitely going home with me. And then I go, all right, well, I really like gun 4 and 5, but they're priced a little too high. Negotiate with these to get these cheap. All right, that's what I do. And I bundle. And I go, hey, if I buy 5 or 6 guns, can you give me a break? And I'm like, well, what are you thinking? Well, I don't know. 1,000's kind of high on these. Well, look, if I buy these here for $400 or $500, whatever, you know, can you knock off $50 a piece on these and knock off $400 on these, and I'll buy both of them? And of course, in their mind, they're thinking, they kind of do the math quickly, but they really don't. They just go, okay, because in their mind they go, wow, that's a lot of cash, and I get rid of 5 guns that I don't have to take back.
That's right.
But in my mind, here I am. Not only did I save $50 on each of the guns that were $400, but then I saved, $300 or $400 on the guns that were $1,000. And I actually end up getting the guns that I know are already worth $150 less than what they really are. Well, they're priced $150 less than what they already are. So I got the ones that were priced $150 less for $200 less. And then I got the 2 that were priced for $1,000 a piece for $600 a piece. So I actually doubled my money. If you do the math, I almost doubled my money.
Yeah, you just got to spend a little bit more.
You just got to know how to go about it.
Exactly.
If I auction those guns, they're going to bring double, if not more, than what I paid for them. And then, of course, the ones I got in for $6, I might be able to sell them for $1,000 to the right person. So they didn't really have them priced wrong, but I was able to talk them down to allow myself a margin if I ever decide I want to get rid of them.
Right. You're willing to hold them longer than they are.
Yes.
That's what it comes down
to. Correct. So that's what it comes down to. Like, don't think that gun shows are dead. They're not. It's just you have to be a little cutthroat and savvy in today's gun show market because people try to jack people up big time, especially on new guns. And now because of the internet and because a lot of these milsurps have gotten so famous, partly because of people like me.
Thanks,
that, you have to, you have to be kind of savvy and know what you're looking at and just be pragmatic about it. But that's probably not the answer you expected to get from me today.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Yeah. But when's the last time you've been to a gun show?
Honestly, the last gun show I went to was Eastman's.
Eastman's, yeah.
And that's a big one here in Georgia. It's like a yearly thing.
Yeah.
And
they do them every few months.
Yeah. And then the last time I went there, it seemed like there were less gun tables and more vendor tables for like just merch and like candy and like homemade, like handmade stuff. It looked more like a traditional flea market versus like a gun store.
Yeah. I remember one of the last gun shows that I went to, there was this gentleman set up that had a bunch of uniforms, surplus uniforms.
Those are always cool, though.
And he had some more modern surplus, stuff, but he had also some real vintage stuff, he had some stuff from Vietnam. He had some stuff from the Cold War. It was like, and that was really cool to see. And I think I wound up buying like a sailor's cap or something that was really cool, or a beret, I remember. I forget. And I think he had a tiger stripe Vietnam uniform, and I bought that top. And I was like, damn, it fits me good. I'm like, I'm buying this. I was like, how much you want? He said, that'd be about $200. Oh! But I bought it because it was cool, So it's like sometimes you have the trap of they bring really cool stuff that you can't resist. And sometimes they want what they want. And look, sometimes you got to break out the Benjamins if you want it. Like
the tiger stripe is hard to resist, man.
Yeah, it's cool. That kind of stuff. So anyway, that's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Are gun shows dead? I want to know what you think. And obviously a big thanks to Matt for hanging out in today's show. Also, check out LLP every Monday at 9 o'clock. He and I, we do an hour-long session every single Monday morning at 9 o'clock. So check that out here on the channel. And also a big thanks to our friends at Patriot Supply for supporting today's video. We have a lot more on the way, tons of videos coming, more range stuff, and I can't wait to put all that information out for you guys. So have yourselves a great day. And Matt, anything else for everybody?
Nope, that is it. Fun hanging out.
Absolutely. You guys have a good day. Many more on the way. And we'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.